So hing is actually a complex spice, and it's has different connotations. For me, this is about the fact that the widows were given that.
It's super interesting.
No.
So for me, I'll never use hing in my food.
Can you welcome Asma ji for me, please?
Everybody knows Asma ji. I'll try to welcome her once again. Asma ji from London, Darjeeling Express, and the face of Indian food, the voice of Indian food, and I don't want to say aroma of Indian food. That sounds very bad, no?
I am the fragrance of Indian food.
One of the things that we've been talking about through our conversations as well, and something that really touched me about something that you said about how your sister was really the person behind you for a lot of things. Today as girls, we face a lot of, especially in the social media age, we face a lot of backlash. We put ourselves out there a lot more to be seen and to be judged. For you, with having your sister there and her being the one to tell you yours will be the name that everyone will be talking about, and that line really touched me. What I've seen, what you've created back in London as well, with the kind of women that you've brought into your system, you've created that sisterhood, you know, and it's something that we lovingly call the sisterhood of the traveling pans.
It's a nice name, yes.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about that and how you feel the comfort when you're in that kitchen, because it's not only the skills that you have and what you're there to show, but it's also how this community is the backbone that
it's very, very
makes
important.
everything right.
My kitchen is a bit like you. It's Nepali and it's Indian. And it is interesting because I think that we have not taught our girls how to be the sister of someone else. And constantly they're being bombarded by images, by competitions. Even food is this kind of competition that you have, you know, like MasterChef or whatever, where people are competing against each other, against time. The sacredness of food, the beauty of a relationship, of conversations, has all got twisted with all these storylines that they're bombarded with all the time. And, you know, we were not exposed to this level of, you know, of imagery, which undermined ourselves. And for me, just my mother-in-law, you know, has been very, very good. But otherwise, all the older matriarchs in my family have been very destructive. And this is not unusual. This happens a lot. And I really feel that people don't call it out of respect. The matriarch in a family should be respected if she respects you. This does not happen. And the silence that we continue from nannies and dadis who harass us, who then undermine our mothers. This is the biggest danger. Is what happens is, this happened to me. I watched my mother being undermined and being questioned as her suitability as a mother, as everything. It left me feeling so desperate. And then when my grandmother would tell me things like, you know, I'm dark and I'm fat and that nobody will marry me. And then nobody wanted to marry me as well. So I was thinking, Dadi Jan is right.
Oh, shit.
Koi meri shaadi nahi karega. Main aisi baith jaungi. Sara zindagi. Koi mujhe shaadi karega. Eventually, bechara to someone married me, no? But she didn't live to see that. But it was very hard. And my sister made me feel that, and everybody adored Amna. Amna was beautiful. She had long hair. बहुत खूबसूरत था. हमेशा most beautiful clothes में. So this princess girl made me feel I was a warrior queen. Because she would tell me that you are a warrior princess, you're the Jhansi ki Rani. And she said, when you lift your sword, there's not a single battle that you will lose. You will win every battle. That, for a 5-year-old, bruised by comments, by those who were meant to protect me, who were meant to be, you know, on my side, but who sidelined me and ridiculed me. And then I constantly had this thing that I felt that my mother was being disrespected. It kind of really destroyed me. I survived through that, and I am victorious because of sisterhood. And I think this is why I understood this, that just her hand and her comment, her faith in me changed my life. This takes nothing from us. But women, girls, young girls, you know, 15-year-old girls, are not being told that this is their greatest power. It's not how beautiful they are. It's not when they walk in the room and everyone's looking at their handbag or their shoes or their perfume or their foreign holiday. No, they're not. Because that's not your power. Paise se you bought that. You bought that with money. What you buy with your integrity is the power that you change someone's life. And this is real sisterhood. Not enough people say it. And I'm grateful, thank you, for giving me the opportunity. Because I know through your network, what I'm saying will go to other people. It'll go to younger people, but it'll also go to people in positions of power, like you. Because it is women like you who have, I can see, and this is why you did this. And this is why I came. When I saw your message, the only reason it was a ridiculous thing because I knew I was going to have this really bad journey coming in, and I was only coming for a few days. The cost of the ticket was crazy. But I thought, no, I'm going to come because she put her hand out to me. And I owe this, that I will make that journey. Because maybe she doesn't need to see me, maybe I need to see her. You always need to grab those opportunities. You don't look at the thing and saying that, this whole thing, we talked about influencers before, that mujhe free mein ye khana milne wala hai, ya this item I'm going to get. Muft mein saman le leke, the most valuable thing is, relationships. And I think that, somehow or the other, we have lost our way. We have lost our way, and in my restaurant, people come in and say that we feel we have come home. And they're not South Asians. South Asians so kahenge, of course, Kishore Kumar, kachori ka smell, chai and ban raha hai, and everyone is laughing and screaming and singing. So wo lagta hai ki haan hum log ghar aa gaye. But for those who do not know what our house is like, there's a sense of homecoming for every person. Because there's no ego in my restaurant. Not from me, not from the person who's serving. They can see these 9 smiley women, mostly Nepalis, because they're all on this side, because they're making the momos, and they're making the cell roti and the thing. So all the roti gangs are this side, khana gang is that side. So roti gang, all of this biryani is all that makes. So it's slightly separated. But they see all the Nepalis, all just smiley faces, 3 grandmothers. It's a great sight.
Yeah.
I mean, it lifts your soul.
Yeah.
And it also pushes you forward. I mean, there were instances when you said it was Diwali and they stayed back, and that just shows the strength of what you have created and now what is there behind you.
Yeah, and the thing is that these women who are barely educated, very traditional in their upbringing, had relationships where from everyone from their mother-in-law to their husband was dictating terms to them. They've taken a lot in their lives. But they were the ones who made the decision, which I told you this thing, that on Diwali they all stayed back because something happened and we had too many people, the system hadn't closed. And they said that this is our temple. And you are our Devi, who will we go back home for? Right now, we feel that this is our duty. Our duty is to this temple, which is our kitchen. And for women who are very traditional, who have not had the opportunities you and I and all of have had, or education, that they have managed to work this out in their own head, that they count, that they are part of a close group of people, that you don't leave anyone behind, that you don't get out because you stay with the collective. Nobody talks about the collective, they just know they are. That day, the older 3-4 Nepali women would not leave because they wouldn't leave the young ones behind. And कोई नहीं कह रहा था कि नहीं आप लोग जाओ यार, conversation ही नहीं हुआ.
जी.
That आप जाओ नहीं जाओ कोई wait कर रहा, nothing. Bimla Didi in the end and was saying that मैं जा रही, Uma Didi, they were like, their eyes was that, you don't tell us anything. In the end, I thanked them and they were very grateful. किसी तरह भी मैच जला दिया किसी तरह बहुत मुश्किल से वो भी बटर को मेल्ट करते we got butter from the French restaurant next door and we melted it and कोई किसी तरह कुछ जला हाँ we managed to do. I said at least ये तो जला के जाओ भाई, that I feel that कुछ हुआ. It's a great space and it shows that one thing is that if just looking at the Indian context, who I am, who they are, their age, their background, everyone is on level. And I get paid the same rate as everyone in the kitchen and the person who washes the pots. The kitchen porter who's from Ghana. He's African. All the women, there's a flat payment. And I don't take any money out of the business. So I often get paid the least because they cut my hours. जैसे आप बाहर खड़ा होकर के 1 घंटा बात की तो मेरा किचन का 1 घंटा कटता. So they are monitoring me. तो मेरा भी पैसे वो लोग दे काटो. But this is the right thing. Because और कोई गया था ना, so goes off and does 1 hour of chit chat outside. उनका भी 1 घंटा कटता था from the kitchen. तो मेरा कटता है. But this is a, in the first time I met them, they wouldn't sit on the sofa. They were like standing or sitting on the ground. Because they didn't, and nobody was turning their back to me. And I was like, this doesn't work. Yeah? We're going to work in the kitchen. We're constantly be turning our backs to each other and banging against each other. Aisa chalta nahi. It took them no time. Because that just shows that this conversation that constantly told them that, you are this, you are that, tum ye khao, tum nahi khao, yes, someone is so and so. Arey, we are all alive. And we all have the same blood. If all of us cut our veins, it's the same blood.
Yeah.
How are we different?
So as you've empowered people in your kitchen, your team, a lot of people I think were empowered also by the conversations we all had at the event.
I didn't come here looking for anything. I also didn't know I needed all of this.
Yeah.
But it's when I met all these people, I realized that I have these needs in my life from someone actually helping me with logistics and of my travel trip next year to, the rice with the tea. But also, I've met people who actually have information on things that I need.
Yeah.
And that's really nice.
Thank you for that vote of confidence. That I'm all mushy here now. But I do have to come to the silly end of this.
That's fine.
Thing. One Indian ingredient that people have forgotten about.
Hing.
Hing. Oh, my mom is Kashmiri. बहुत हींग होता है.
हमारे यहाँ भी बहुत हींग होता है.
No, but I think हमारे यहाँ from Bengal is out. You don't see hing being used a lot in Bengal.
Oh.
And it was quite integral to the cuisine.
It was quite integral, but for me it is very political. I don't use hing because of the association that this was something that only widows could have. In Bengal, you find a lot of people have dropped it because वो लगता है ना, this because onion and garlic was taken out of their lives.
Yes.
All the color and joy was taken out of their lives. And this was a replacement. Like, I will not ever have hing. So that is my answer, because in Bengal you don't see
that's a very interesting
hing being used. So I know this is supposed to be amazing.
I'm going to deep dive into this now because
super
I did not
interesting.
know this. Yeah.
No.
So for me, I'll never use hing in my food because I feel that this was something that was given to women who got widowed as replacement
and were
for something.
deprived
because they were deprived of something.
Sure.
I will not use that ingredient because this is when
I completely
other
agree.
women, it is women who did this to
Did to
women.
women, yeah.
Who told women, usually a young girl, a young widow,
Yes.
that you're not allowed to eat this.
Oh my.
I will never touch it.
Oh wow.
Sorry, this
That's no.
this-
It's a very. I know it's supposed to be, but no.
this is not rapid fire. I'm giving you an explanation.
But in Kashmir, it's funny. It's a religious divide. So KP and KM cuisine, in Kashmiri Muslim cuisine, you will have the shallot that is cooked and garlic ka istemal. Kashmiri Pandits will not use that, will only use hing. So I grew up thinking Kashmiri food tasted this way, but when I finally had Kashmiri food, it's all Kashmiri food,
Yeah.
religious lines apart. But when I had Kashmiri Wazwan food, I was like, oh my God, this is...
So hing is actually a complex spice, and it has different connotations. For me, this is about the fact that the widows were given that. So I see in Bengal, at least in my group of people, who are all, left-leaning, political, liberal, understanding that who eats, who doesn't eat. Food is about power. And when stuff like hing is something that's a replacement for something, if I turn around and tell you, aap ye nahi khaoge, this is your replacement, what am I imposing on you? I am telling you, who are below me, you're not worth anything. This is what you will have. And then forever you will have that replacement.
Oof.
So, nahi, mere yahan nahi hota.
One ingredient that you store in the kitchen, no matter what. It's not hing.
Zira.
I know that.
No, it's zira.
Zira.
Zira. I keep zira. I keep small quantities. I always bhuno my zira. For me, zira is very important. Bhuna hua zira.
I agree. And Zira with egg for me is
No, Zira is
the most
I put on
delicious
everything.
combination.
Cheese and cheese on toast.
Yes.
क्या पता नहीं उसे क्या साइन कर रहे हो मेरे से अच्छा if we take Asma back to the 1500s that you have to remember all the emperors back then anyways we take Asma back to the 1500s which emperor would you like to cook for
which
which period doesn't matter 1500
or which
1600
person who would you like whose style would you have liked
the timing
to
is
cook
almost correct.
Babur
Yes.
Babur kyun ji
Because
The food.
he came in here, the uprooting, I understand. He came from Central Asia. He found the weather here terrible, loved the mangoes. But I would have loved to have cooked for him in a way that he would have liked the cuisine of this country, because you come across all these kind of narratives about the fact that he found this place and the food not that
Very
great.
bland, yes.
He found the food very bad. And I would have wanted to cook for him so that he would like the food.
and fall in love all over
Fall in
again.
love with the food, because I always feel that this is the one thing that makes me uncomfortable, that, you know, he came here and he didn't like the weather. Uska to I understand. I mean, England ka weather is also shit. The weather ka to you're allowed to complain. Usko khana nahi pasand aaya, mujhe wo bura lagta hai. So I would
That
have
is
liked
a
to have
sad
cooked-
thing.
हाँ, I would have loved to have cooked for him.
So, on a really quick, fun note, an ex-business associate, let's just call him that, I met his family, and then the family member asked me, "Where are you from?" So I said, "India." He said, "Oh, we have a long family connection with India." I'm like, "You're Uzbek and Kazakh. What connection?" It didn't ring a bell. He's like, "Oh no, it's Baburi." I'm like, "What is Baburi?" I'm like, "Wait, Babar? Wait, you are Babar?" He's like, "Yeah, we came from the same line, and there's only 21 of us living. But we are the direct descendants of Babar, but who stayed back in Uzbekistan, not the ones who went there." The last time you wanted to whistle or whatever.
Maro
something of
Seeti.
that. हाँ,
Seeti Maro.
Seeti Maro जब ऐसे कौन सा डिश खाया था आपने last?
It was actually in Bangladesh, in a wedding, because biryani is my big thing.
kachi.
But kachi biryani of Bangladesh is unbelievable. Also, I gate crashed that wedding. I wasn't invited.
nice.
I went there biryani khane.
हाँ
कपड़े वपड़े पहन के मैं गई.
अच्छा.
I went with my cousins. I wasn't invited, but मैं गई मुफ्त पे खाने.
हाँ
But the biryani was just unbelievable. I was so overwhelmed, and everyone was saying, "Asma, keep quiet because someone might recognize you."
To that end, Asma, thank you so very much for gracing us all the way from London
Thank
and
you.
being part of this, and then part of this little fun tete-a-tete.
Thank you very much, and thank you. I'm
Thank
so glad
you.
you invited me, because it's been a really wonderful experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much.